Hi, I'm Mike from Michael's Motor Cars, located in Lancaster, Pennsylvania. Today I have a very interesting early MGB I'd like to show you. Come on over and take a look at it. This is a car that I really hope everybody looks at all the videos we're doing on this car. We did a very short driving video just to show that the car does run, its transmission is working, the brakes are working. More importantly, we did a video under the car showing you the chassis, showing you the unibody. And then we're doing this video. This is a no reserve auction. It's also being presented as a project car. This will be an interesting video because I'm probably going to downgrade this car quite a bit. It's one of the most interesting cars we've had as far as the condition of the car on top. What you see right now, the paint, the chrome, the interior is gorgeous on the car, are quite nice. It runs and drives okay, but the basic structure underneath the car has serious rust on it. It has rust. It's a unibody car. It has rust in the main frame rails that are underneath the car. And we point that out both in the photo gallery and in my video underneath the car. So I'm going to say this over and over. This is a project car. It's a true bring a trailer car. It is not safe for the road right now. It needs to have welding work done before it's roadworthy. So bring a trailer for this one. So let's start with the basics. It's a 1968B. We do have the heritage certificate with the car. The plate is no longer on the motor, so I do not know if it's a matching numbers car or not. So 50-50 shot at that. It has received extensive work through the years. A lot of new chrome, the bright work and everything. The paint work is nice on the top. When we open up the hood, it is the regular MGB 4-cylinder. It was changed out to the Weber downdraft 2-barrel carburetor, which is a nice conversion. It works well. It also has a header for the exhaust. I have oodles and oodles of receipts for the car. A lot of work was done in the late 90s, crossing over in the early 2000s. The engine was rebuilt. I see receipts for double row timing chain. All the valves were replaced, all the guides were replaced. So I know the motor was rebuilt. But if you look, it's a rat's nest of wiring. The wiring is a mess. And it has niggling electrical issues going on. So that'll take some work to get that done. It does have a high capacity ignition coil. It does have electronic ignition. It's got a cool finned valve cover. The heater core is disconnected. So I would assume that the heater leaks. That would be the only reason to disconnect it. But who knows? But the heater's disconnected. Somebody installed air horns. They're not currently working, but here they are. And somebody wired in the driving lights. It does have its tag over here from the factory. It does look like an older original one, I believe. But one of the clues to what's going on underneath, you see a lot of corrosion along here. But we've got a couple bolts missing here on the fenders. So there are 3 bolts here missing, 4. And there's a couple bolts over there missing. That's not terrible. They can be replaced. It would not be hard. I mean, in an afternoon, you can retap them and put bolts in and clean that up. Coming along the side of the car, it does have a set of very nice condition chrome wire wheels. They're really in excellent condition, the wires. Has a set of good Dunlop tires. I think they're Dunlops. They were put on around 2008. So the tires are they're in great shape. And we also have a lot of, I wish I would get this with all the cars. We just have so many receipts going back into the, like I said, mid-90s on this car of all the money that was spent on this car. Sadly, they did buy, so this is an older receipt back in '91. All these frame parts, floor section, sill bottom, inner and outer sill, filler plate, and it's all on the car, but very poor workmanship installing it. The parts came from the Roadster factory. They're very reputable. But whoever put it on the car, it's just not professionally done. I do have that, this shows when someone had purchased the car in '96, and they're talking about some of the work they did on the car after they got it. And then we also have, and we'll take photos of all of this, photos of when the body was done. So here you can see they were welding in significant amounts of metal, all the lower portions of the car. There's a rear fender. Now the problem is, and I'll show you, inside the trunk area, it literally looks that rough. They didn't finish it off at all on the inside of the trunk. Now as it starts to get in primer, it's looking pretty good. But underneath all that is lurking a lot of sub-quality work. And it's not very often you get someone selling cars telling you all these things, but it's a neat little car. And it's an early B, it's a 68. It would be a great project for someone who, one, likes welding and wants to do more welding, or if you have a good relationship with the body shop, it can all be fixed. It's all fixable. The parts are all here, but it's all work that needs to be done underneath. Coming along the side, we've got the two cool bullet mirrors. The windshield is good. The windshield surround is all good. It has a driver's sun visor. It does not have the passenger sun visor. Amazingly, the door shut seams are quite good. The rockers are welded on nicely. That's all good. The interior is great. They did a nice job. It's got the red with the white piping. It always was a white car with red interior. So this is what it looked like probably when it was new, according to the Heritage Certificate. The seats are great. They're really well done. The upholstery on the car is beautifully done. It is a dash cap on the top, glued in place. It's the original MGB dash. This is cracked right here, so that piece is cracked right around the steering column. Very nice steering wheel, in great shape, no cracks or anything. As I mentioned in the test drive, instrumentation, the fuel gauge does not work. RPM works, but it's crazy. It needs to be rebuilt. It's all over the place. Oil pressure's intermittent. It works or doesn't work. The motor has great oil pressure. The gauge itself is intermittent. Speedo works, temp works. Heater does not work because it's not hooked up. The radio does work. A nice roll bar, which looks kind of cool. Carpeting is all brand new. Has nice binding on it. And all that is beautiful. I mean, as I keep saying, a lot of money was spent on this car. So, but then back to my bolts on the front fenders. It's missing a couple Phillips screws here. And again, this is easy to do. Just tap it out, clean the threads up, and put new screws in. That kind of stuff is easy. As you come to the rear of the car, again, new chrome bumpers. The bumperettes are excellent. The lenses, all this is great. Some cool Sports Car Club of America stickers on it. The trunk, all carpeted, nicely done. Spare tire, a brand new Dunlop, never been on the road. But if you go over here and look, this is horrible. This is the other side. These are all plates welded in there. I'm sure they're strong. They're going to stay like that, but boy, not professionally done. So that's right there sort of sums up the car. It's so nice looking on the outside, but it needs a lot of cleaning up underneath where you normally don't see it. We also have, and the trunk seam is nice. That closes well. We have a brand new full tonneau cover for the car. We took a picture of that. It's cut out for the roll bar, which is cool. It's never been on the car. It doesn't have any of its snaps, any of its receivers in place. So this would need to go to an upholstery shop or do it yourself. It has the pins on the car, but this needs to have it put on the top. These are great because you don't need to use the top. We also have an older convertible top that comes with the car. We're cleaning that right now. We'll take separate pictures of that. I think it would be serviceable. But it's older. We have some extra vinyl that goes with the interior, a little bit of insulation. And these are the parts why, as far as I'm concerned, the car is not roadworthy right now. These are old. These are from the Roadster factory. They were never put on the car. They are the rear frame members on the trailing edge. And they're also where the rear shackle for the leaf springs attached to these. And we tried to take pictures of it. They're completely rusted away on the car. So this is the left and right rear frame rails, and these are the boxes that go on top. So these need to be welded into the car. This is the most glaring thing on the car, that the rear suspension, the rear shackles of the rear springs are really hardly attached. So that's what makes it dangerous at this point. So that would absolutely have to be addressed. It looks okay sitting here, but in this area underneath, a lot of rust on the frame rail that must be addressed before it's usable. I hope it'd be neat if a young kid would get this who wants to get into the hobby and take it to a Votech school and get it welded up. It could, as I keep saying, it could be brought back. And the early Bs are neat cars. Here, same thing, the passenger door card is nice, it's really excellent. All of this is very well done. Once again, they missed a couple screws, so they need to be done. So it's, we got this car in a collection of cars. We just recently sold a bunch of MGs, and this came along in the collection. It's too good to just kind of give up on the car because it actually does run well. The engine is strong, it's a rebuilt motor. The transmission shifts beautifully, the synchro mesh is all really good. Brakes are working, and it looks beautiful, but it's that chassis stuff that just needs to be done on the car. So please ask us any questions. We'll take more photographs of it. I'll be very active in this auction because I want to make sure that whoever buys it knows exactly what they're getting. And I hope they bring it back to life. I mean, if you like doing welding, it's a great car. So hopefully we'll find a good buyer for it. Thanks for taking the time. It's no reserve, it's going to sell, and hopefully somebody who wants a little project will take it on. Thanks for taking the time and watching the video.